My name is Monica. I am a child of Mexican immigrants who searched for a better life in the US. I am a Chicana. I come from a family of field workers, originally from southern Mexico, who made a living working in the cucumber fields in Michoacan. I was born and raised in Phoenix, surrounded by little bits of Mexican culture I deeply grasped as a child. Ever since she migrated to the US, my mother always made it a point for us to be proud of our identity. We spoke Spanish at home, celebrated our traditions, and always made time for our family. Most of all, my mother taught me the importance of paying it forward and having a great work ethic. Being a Mexican American, I grew up with the best of both worlds. I was surrounded by the traditions of my mother's homeland, while also being fortunate enough to reach for my dreams in a country filled with opportunities. Amidst all of this, I felt a disconnect in my identity. Upon entering college and becoming a Chicano Studies major, I realized there was a whole other world I had not experienced and knowledge I had yet to gain. I longed to reconnect with my Mexican roots and visit the country my mother called home. My classes taught me about the indigenous cultures of Mexico, yet I wanted to see them for myself. There was no better way to explore all of this than to visit the root of all this history and see Mexico City. Every moment there seemed never ending, from its bustling streets, colorful buildings, graffiti art, food trucks, and historical buildings. Its history was very much alive in its array of architecture and cobblestone roads. The museums there very much told me an intricate story. Its people are talented and were always willing to share their knowledge. Every day offered new scenery, being a city with more than 20 million people. The local markets always offered some of my favorite dishes, ranging from sopes, flautas, to some of the best pozole. I gained a new perspective of Mexico far beyond the border towns I'd visited before. There was culture at every park, metro station, street corner, and theater. This was a city so modern, yet so closely tied to its indigenous past. There was something so much more authentic about life here. Everything I had been learning about in class was suddenly coming to life here. Brought to life by its amazing gifts like rain, brought to life in its unique sense of foods, or enjoying the simple pleasure of a boat ride down the Xochimilco riverbed. Every person I came across had their own story to tell, including our captain, who had dedicated his life to the boats in Xochimilco for 30 years. Every person showed pride in their work, no matter what it may be. It's this sense of pride that made me much more appreciative of all the places I visited in Mexico City and the people that surrounded them. I could relate to so many of these stories. One story in particular was O'Connor's, a student studying nutrition at UNAM who rowed boats on the riverbeds of Xochimilco on weekends to pay his way through school. Hearing these stories made my experience at Xochimilco so much more significant, more than just a boat ride, but a learning experience. They added to the beauty that I was already experiencing all around me. I saw a country with potential, not just poverty. I saw hardworking citizens with not just ends to meet, but also dreams. I saw myself in these people. I saw my family, friends, and members of my community. Everything along these streets looked familiar, but also seemed inexplicably new. I felt at home, with a piece of myself finally feeling complete. They say the study abroad experience should push you outside of your comfort zone, but for me, it was filling a void I found in my identity. All of these memories from my childhood suddenly rushed in, and I could finally fit all the pieces to the puzzle. I now embrace the bicultural environment I was raised in. I appreciate the worlds I open up and being able to speak two languages and living in what seems like between two borders, not knowing exactly how to navigate through each one. But in the end, that's really the most important part of the journey. I found a place which I can really call my home. I have experienced a world that no longer seems so distant to me, and found a city so rich in culture whose humbleness has greeted me with open arms.